When life picks the fight you never asked for. Life does not knock politely. Life does not ask if you're ready. One day, a storm appears on your horizon, and it does not wait for your permission. Life will choose you for battles you never saw coming, battles you did not sign up for, and challenges you feel ill-equipped to face. You wake up, and suddenly, you are standing in the middle of a fight that you never wanted. But here's the truth. Being chosen by a battle is not a punishment. It is an opportunity. It is life testing the measure of your spirit and the depth of your character. There are moments when everything seems aligned against you. Seasons when no amount of effort appears to bear fruit. Times when prayers seem unanswered and your soul feels heavy with frustration. The mirror reflects exhaustion, doubt, and fear instead of hope. And in those moments, the most dangerous question is not why me? It is what now? Because the answer to that question determines whether you rise or remain fallen. The battles we face are not always a result of our mistakes or failures. Sometimes, they simply come because life is life. The fire does not ask the gold if it is ready to be tested. It burns the gold regardless. And yet, without the fire, the gold never shines. Similarly, without the trials, your strength, courage, and resilience may remain dormant. Life's hardships are not arbitrary. They are a mirror reflecting what is already within you, waiting to be called forth. Every struggle carries a lesson. Every pain carries a message. Every storm is an invitation to rise beyond your previous limits. If you allow it, the fight that chose you can awaken a part of you that you did not know existed. But you must choose to engage it. You must refuse to let it defeat you. You must decide that you are stronger than your circumstances. Too many people are paralyzed by the unfairness of life. They see the storm and believe that they are failing. They hear the thunder and think that the sky itself is against them. But resistance is not proof that you are on the wrong path. Resistance is proof that transformation is near. Pressure does not indicate weakness. It reveals potential. Without struggle, there is no strength. Without conflict, there is no growth. Being chosen by a battle is also a call to leadership, leadership over yourself. You may not be able to control the hand you were dealt, but you can control how you respond. You may not be responsible for the pain that strikes, but you are responsible for whether it keeps you down. If you lie there blaming fate or circumstances, you surrender your power. If you rise, you reclaim it. There is no shortcut to strength. There is no easy route to resilience. Every day you choose to stand in the storm and keep moving forward. You are building something inside you that cannot be broken. Pain and adversity are teachers, and the lesson is always the same. Endurance creates character. Character creates courage. And courage creates victory. Many will try to distract you with excuses. They will tell you that life is unfair, that you are unlucky, or that the odds are too great. Listen to them if you must, but do not believe them. Life is impartial. It gives challenges to everyone. And how you meet those challenges is what separates those who succeed from those who remain ordinary. You are not the first person to face hardship, and you will not be the last. But you can be the first in your circle to rise above it. The fight that chose you will test every aspect of your being, your patience, your endurance, your focus, your faith, your self-belief. You will question yourself. You will doubt yourself. You will want to quit. But it is in the moments when quitting seems easiest that your true strength is forged. Your character is not revealed when things are easy. It is revealed when the weight of life is on your shoulders and you refuse to bend. Being chosen for a battle is also a call to self-discovery. It reveals the parts of you that you have neglected. It exposes your fears, insecurities, and limitations, but it also reveals your courage, your creativity, and your inner power. The battle will strip away the illusions and show you who you really are. It will test your commitment to your values, your dreams, and your purpose. And if you respond with resilience, it will elevate you to a level you never imagined. You may not know why this battle came to you. You may never understand why life allows certain hardships. But that is not the point. The point is how you choose to respond. Will you retreat into fear, self-pity, or despair? Or will you rise, armed with determination, purpose, and unwavering faith in yourself? The key is to shift your mindset. The fight that chose you is not a sentence. It is an invitation. It is an opportunity to become more than you were yesterday, to grow stronger, to deepen your resilience, to sharpen your focus, to expand your capacity for courage and wisdom. Life does not hand out these lessons lightly, but they are the most valuable training you will ever receive. Every day you wake up and face your battle, you are either growing or shrinking. You are either becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable, or you are surrendering pieces of your potential. Growth comes through discomfort, through struggle, through persistence. If you want to rise, you must embrace the fire and endure it. You must let it shape you into someone who can not only survive, but thrive. Remember, being chosen by a battle is not a reflection of your weakness. It is a reflection of your strength, your potential, and your ability to endure. It is life's way of saying, you are capable of more than you realize. Every tear, every struggle, every moment of doubt is a stepping stone to the version of yourself that is unshakable, unstoppable, and undeniable. The storm may feel endless. The struggle may feel overwhelming. But the battle is not permanent. You are. And the more you engage, the more you rise, the more you grow, the more you shine. Life did not choose this battle to destroy you. It chose it to reveal you. So stand up, face the fight, embrace the challenge. Walk through the storm with your head high and your heart strong. The battle that chose you is only the beginning of what you are destined to become. Finding your why when motivation is gone. There will be moments in your life when motivation disappears without warning. Days when you wake up exhausted, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Days when the fire you once felt is nowhere to be found. On those days, inspiration will not save you. Positive quotes will not carry you. Even discipline may feel heavy. What keeps you moving forward in those moments is something far deeper than motivation. It is your why. Your why is the reason you continue when quitting feels logical. It is the inner truth that does not depend on mood, energy, or approval. Motivation is emotional. It rises and falls. Your why is foundational. It stays. When everything else fades, your why becomes the silent force pushing you to take one more step. Most people misunderstand motivation. They believe they must feel ready before they act. They wait for confidence, excitement, or clarity before moving forward. But progress does not wait for feelings. Life rewards those who move even when their emotions resist. And the only thing strong enough to drive action, in the absence of motivation, is purpose. Your why is not something you discover casually. It is something you uncover through honesty and pain. It is forged in moments when life strips away comfort and forces you to confront what truly matters. When everything unnecessary falls away, what remains is your why. Many people quit not because the road is impossible, but because their reason for walking it is weak. When challenges appear, they begin to negotiate with themselves. They say, maybe later, or this isn't worth it. But when your why is clear, quitting stops being an option. You may slow down, you may struggle, but you do not stop. Your why gives meaning to your suffering. Pain without purpose feels unbearable. Pain with purpose becomes fuel. When you know why you are enduring hardship, the hardship no longer defines you, it refines you. For some, the why is survival. For others, it is legacy. For some, it is proving something to themselves after years of doubt and defeat. For others, it is protecting those they love from the struggles they once faced. There is no universal why. It must be personal, specific, and deeply rooted. A borrowed why will not sustain you. Living someone else's dream will exhaust you. Chasing validation, money, or status without deeper meaning will leave you empty the moment resistance appears. External rewards are fragile. Internal purpose is resilient. Your why speaks to you in quiet moments. When no one is watching. When no one is encouraging you. When there is no applause. It asks you one question. Who do you choose to be when no one is forcing you to try? That question reveals everything. When your why is strong, excuses lose their power. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop needing constant reassurance. You stop asking for permission to become who you were meant to be. You move because something inside you demands growth. Your why also gives you clarity. It simplifies decisions. When opportunities arise that look attractive but don't align with your purpose, your why helps you say no. When distractions try to pull you off course, your why pulls you back. Purpose sharpens focus. There will be seasons when progress is invisible, when effort goes unnoticed, when it feels like you are working hard but moving nowhere. These are the moments that break people who rely on motivation alone. But those who are driven by purpose understand something others don't. Consistency always compounds. even when results are delayed. Your why reminds you that today's effort is not wasted, even if today offers no reward. It also protects you from comparison. When you know why you are on your path, you stop measuring your pace against others. You stop envying shortcuts. You understand that your journey is yours alone, and rushing it would cost you the growth you need. People without a why chase speed. People with a why build endurance. Your why becomes your anchor during emotional storms. When disappointment hits, when betrayal shakes you, when failure humbles you, it grounds you in something unshakable. Emotions may rise and fall, but purpose keeps you steady. Pain has a way of clarifying purpose. When life hurts, it forces you to ask hard questions. What am I really living for? What am I willing to sacrifice for? What future am I building with my choices? The answers to those questions form your why. Your why does not remove fear. It gives you the courage to move despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is commitment to purpose in the presence of fear. Fear will always exist when you are growing. Purpose tells you to move anyway. There will be days when you feel alone, days when no one checks on you, days when your effort feels invisible. If your why depends on recognition, those days will defeat you. But if your why is internal, those days will strengthen you. A deep why transforms struggle into meaning. It allows you to say, "This hurts, but it matters." It turns exhaustion into sacrifice and sacrifice into growth. Your why will evolve as you grow. What begins as survival can become responsibility. What begins as self-improvement can become service. What begins as healing can become leadership. Purpose expands as you do. You do not need to feel inspired every day. You need to be convinced. Convinced that your life has meaning. Convinced that your effort matters. Convinced that quitting would cost you more than continuing. Conviction says, "I will show up even when it's hard." Conviction says, "I will continue even when progress is slow." Conviction says, "I will stay committed even when I am misunderstood." This is the difference between those who break and those who rise. Those who rise are not stronger, they are clearer. Clear about who they are. Clear about what they stand for. Clear about why they refuse to quit. When life tests you, your why becomes your shield. When temptation calls you to give up, your why keeps you focused. When doubt creeps in, your why reminds you who you are becoming. If you have not defined your why, do it now. Not casually, not vaguely. Define it with honesty and depth. Write it down. Revisit it. Let it guide your decisions. Because when motivation disappears, when excuses grow louder, and when life feels heavy, your why will be the only thing strong enough to carry you forward. And if your why is strong enough, quitting will never be an option. Standing strong when quitting feels easier. There comes a point in every serious journey when quitting feels more reasonable than continuing. Not because you are weak, but because you are tired. Tired of trying. Tired of hoping. Tired of putting in effort that seems invisible. This is the moment that defines everything. Not the beginning, not the excitement, not the vision, but the moment when walking away feels easier than standing your ground. Most people believe quitting happens suddenly. It doesn't. Quitting is a slow internal process. It begins with doubt, then frustration, then emotional exhaustion. Eventually, the idea of stopping starts to feel like relief. And if you are not aware of this process, you will mistake emotional fatigue for logic. Standing strong in this moment requires a different kind of strength. Not loud confidence, not aggression, but quiet endurance. The kind that keeps you moving when there is no emotional reward. Quitting often disguises itself as self-care. Your mind tells you, you deserve rest, when what it really wants is escape. It tells you, this isn't working, when the truth is that growth is uncomfortable. It tells you, you've done enough, when you are standing right before a breakthrough. This is why discipline matters most when emotions are unstable. Discipline is not punishment, it is protection. It protects your future self from decisions made by temporary pain. When quitting feels easier, you must slow your thinking. Emotional moments demand long-term perspective. Ask yourself, if I stop now, what will I regret a year from today? The answer is rarely the struggle, it is the surrender. Strength is not about never wanting to quit. Strength is about continuing even after the desire to quit has arrived. Every resilient person you admire has reached this moment. The difference is not that they didn't feel it. The difference is that they didn't obey it. Pain has a voice. It argues convincingly. It uses logic, fear, and exhaustion as weapons. But pain only sees the present. It has no understanding of your future. When you stand strong instead of quitting, something powerful happens internally. You build self-trust. You prove to yourself that your word matters. That when you commit, you endure. And that confidence carries into every area of life. Quitting teaches your mind that discomfort is dangerous. Endurance teaches your mind that discomfort is temporary. There will be days when progress feels invisible, when effort produces silence, when you feel forgotten. These are not signs to quit. They are signs that you are being tested. Tested not for results, but for resolve. Life does not reward potential. It rewards persistence. Standing strong does not mean ignoring pain. It means acknowledging it without letting it decide. It means saying, yes, this hurts, but it will not control me. That decision alone shifts power back into your hands. Sometimes, standing strong means resting without quitting, pausing without surrendering, adjusting without abandoning. There is wisdom in knowing the difference. You are allowed to slow down. You are not allowed to give up on yourself. When quitting feels easier, return to your why. Not the surface reason, the deep one. The one connected to your identity. The one that reminds you who you promised yourself you would become. That version of you is still watching. Standing strong also requires you to detach from immediate outcomes. Results come in seasons, not moments. If you demand instant validation, you will burn out. If you commit to long-term growth, results will arrive quietly, but powerfully. There is strength in staying when leaving would be celebrated. There is power in endurance when no one is clapping. This phase, this exact moment, is what separates people who talk from people who transform. Many start the journey. Few finish it. Finishing requires staying when quitting feels justified. You will never regret standing strong. But you will always remember the moments you walked away from your potential. Every time you resist quitting, you sharpen your resilience. You build a nervous system that can handle pressure, a mindset that does not panic under difficulty, a character that does not collapse under weight. This is how inner strength is built, not through ease, but through endurance. When you feel like quitting, remind yourself, this feeling is temporary, but the consequences of quitting are permanent. Stand strong, not because it's easy, but because your future depends on it. Turning pain into power. Pain is inevitable. No matter how careful, disciplined, or prepared you are, pain will find its way into your life. It arrives through loss, betrayal, failure, rejection, and disappointment. The question is not whether you will experience pain. The question is what you will do with it. Pain can either weaken you or transform you. The difference lies in how you choose to respond. Most people try to escape pain. They numb it, distract themselves from it, or bury it under temporary comforts. But pain does not disappear when ignored. It waits, and when it resurfaces, it often returns heavier than before. Power is not built by avoiding pain. It is built by facing it, understanding it, and reshaping it. Turning pain into power begins with acceptance. Not approval, not surrender, but acceptance of reality. Resistance to pain drains energy. Acceptance redirects it. When you stop fighting the fact that pain exists, you regain control over how it shapes you. Pain carries information. It reveals wounds that need healing, habits that need changing, and truths that need confronting. If you listen carefully, pain becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. There is strength in choosing not to be bitter. Bitterness keeps you stuck in the past. Power pulls you forward. Forgiveness, whether of others or yourself, is not weakness. It is release. It frees the energy trapped in resentment and turns it into momentum. Pain also sharpens awareness. It strips away illusions. It shows you who is real, what matters, and where you have been compromising yourself. In this clarity, power is born. Every strong person you admire has a relationship with pain. They did not avoid it, they learned from it. They did not let it define them, they let it refine them. Turning pain into power requires discipline of thought. You must choose meaning over misery. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? That shift alone transforms suffering into strategy. Pain builds endurance when you refuse to quit. Each time you survive something you thought would break you, your confidence expands. You begin to trust yourself under pressure. That trust becomes power. There is a quiet strength that comes from surviving silently, from carrying weight without applause, from healing without announcement. That kind of strength is unshakable. Pain also deepens compassion. When you have suffered, you see others differently. You understand struggle. You lead with empathy. And leadership rooted in empathy is one of the strongest forms of power. Do not rush your healing. Power is not built in denial. Feel what you need to feel, but do not live there. Use emotion as fuel, not a home. Turning pain into power also means setting boundaries. Pain teaches you what you will no longer tolerate. Strength grows when you honor those lessons. Your scars are not proof of damage. They are proof of survival. And survival, when combined with purpose, becomes power. You are not broken because you have suffered. You are forged. One day, the pain you thought would destroy you will become the reason you are unstoppable, becoming unbreakable through adversity. Adversity does not arrive to ask for permission. It comes unannounced and unapologetic, shaking the foundations of your life. It tests not just what you can do, but who you are. Many people pray for strength, without realizing that adversity is the process through which strength is built. You do not become unbreakable by avoiding hardship. You become unbreakable by enduring it. To become unbreakable does not mean you no longer feel pain. It means pain no longer controls you. It means disappointment may bend you, but it will not define you. It means failure may visit, but it will not stay. Adversity strips life down to essentials. It removes comfort, exposes weakness, and reveals truth. In that exposure, you are given a choice: collapse or construct. Most collapse because construction requires patience, humility, and persistence. Every challenge asks a silent question: will you rise or retreat? Each time you choose to rise, even imperfectly, you reinforce a mindset that cannot be easily shaken. Unbreakable people are not fearless. They are familiar with fear and have learned not to obey it. Fear loses its authority the moment you act in spite of it. Adversity also teaches self-reliance. When support fades and reassurance disappears, you discover what you are capable of on your own. That discovery changes how you see yourself forever. Becoming unbreakable is a process of repetition, repeated effort, repeated resilience, repeated refusal to quit. Strength is not built in one heroic moment. It is built in thousands of ordinary decisions to continue. Adversity trains emotional control. When chaos surrounds you, composure becomes your weapon. Calm thinking under pressure is power. Unbreakable people learn to separate identity from circumstance. They understand that hardship is something they are experiencing, not something they are. This distinction preserves self-worth even in failure. Growth through adversity also requires accountability. You must own your response, even when the situation is unfair. Responsibility restores power. Adversity sharpens discipline. It forces structure where chaos once lived. It replaces comfort with commitment. Discipline becomes the bridge between pain and progress. When adversity stretches you beyond what feels possible, it expands your capacity. What once overwhelmed you becomes manageable. What once frightened you becomes familiar. Becoming unbreakable also means letting go of who you used to be. Growth requires release. You cannot carry old habits into a stronger future. Adversity teaches patience. Results slow down. Progress hides. Faith is tested. Those who endure without rushing develop inner stability that cannot be shaken by delay. Unbreakable strength is quiet. It does not announce itself. It does not seek approval. It simply shows up again and again. The version of you that survives adversity is wiser, steadier, and more capable than the version that entered it. One day, you will look back at what almost broke you and realize it was the very thing that made you unbreakable. Discipline when no one is watching. Discipline is not loud. It does not announce itself. It does not need applause, recognition, or validation. Discipline is quiet, lonely, and often invisible. It is who you are when nobody is clapping, when nobody is encouraging you, and when nobody even knows you are trying. This is where most people fail, not because they are incapable, but because they cannot endure the silence. They can push when the crowd is cheering, but they collapse when the room is empty. True growth happens in private. The strongest version of you is built when there is no audience, no reward, and no immediate result. This is where character is formed. This is where integrity is tested. When you wake up early, even though no one will praise you. When you keep going, even though nothing seems to be changing. When you stay committed, even though quitting would be easier. Discipline is choosing long-term purpose over short-term comfort. Most people are motivated by emotion. They move when they feel inspired and stop when they feel tired. But discipline does not depend on feelings. Discipline operates on commitment. Feelings come and go, but commitment stays. You cannot build a strong life based on how you feel today. You build it based on what you are willing to do consistently, even on the days when you feel nothing. There will be days when you feel drained, discouraged, and defeated. Days when doubt whispers that your effort is pointless. Days when nobody checks on you. Days when progress feels invisible. These are the days that define you. Because if you can stay disciplined on the hard days, the easy days will take care of themselves. Discipline is doing the right thing even when it hurts. Even when you are tired. Even when you are scared. Even when you are unsure. It is choosing growth over excuses. Responsibility over comfort. Purpose over pleasure. Discipline asks one simple question every day. Will you show up? Or will you disappear? Nobody talks about how lonely discipline can feel. When others are resting, you are working. When others are distracted, you are focused. When others are quitting, you are still standing. Discipline separates you from the crowd, and isolation can be painful. But isolation is not punishment, it is preparation. You are being prepared for a level of strength that most people never reach. Consistency beats intensity every time. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to be extraordinary. You just need to be consistent. Small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. The world celebrates overnight success, but overnight success is a myth. Behind every breakthrough is a long season of unseen discipline. When nobody is watching, you are training your future self. You are building trust with yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Every time you break one, it weakens. Discipline is self-respect in action. It is saying, I matter enough to keep going. The truth is, nobody is coming to save you. No one is responsible for your growth except you. Waiting for motivation is a trap. Waiting for support is a distraction. Waiting for perfect conditions is an excuse. Discipline does not wait. Discipline moves forward regardless of circumstances. One day, people will notice your strength. They will call it talent. They will call it luck. They will call it success. But you will know the truth. You will know it was discipline in the dark, commitment in the quiet, consistency in the unseen moments. If you can master discipline when no one is watching, you will become unstoppable when everyone is. This is how you win battles long before the world sees the victory. This is how you become the person who never collapses under pressure, because you were forged in private. Becoming the person who never quits. At some point in life, quitting will look reasonable, logical, justified. You will have evidence, explanations, and reasons that make sense. Pain will argue with you. Fatigue will whisper in your ear. Fear will present a convincing case. And in that moment, the question will not be whether quitting is understandable. The question will be who you decide to become. Becoming the person who never quits does not mean you never feel weak. It does not mean you never doubt yourself. It does not mean you never cry, break down, or feel overwhelmed. It means that no matter how many times you fall apart, you put yourself back together. It means quitting is no longer an option you entertain. It is a door you permanently close. People misunderstand strength. They think strength is loud, aggressive, and fearless. Real strength is quiet persistence. It is showing up when your heart feels heavy. It is continuing when progress feels slow. It is standing firm when everything in you wants relief instead of growth. Strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the decision to stay in the fight. There will be moments when the cost feels too high, when you look at what you have sacrificed and wonder if it was worth it, when the distance between where you are and where you want to be feels unbearable. This is where identity matters. Because when your goal is external, quitting feels easy. But when your commitment is internal, when it is tied to who you are, quitting feels impossible. You are not just chasing success. You are building character. You are not just pursuing results. You are shaping your spirit. The person who never quits understands that failure is not final. Delay is not denial, and pain is not permanent. They understand that every setback is temporary, but quitting makes it permanent. At some point, You must stop negotiating with yourself. Stop asking, should I keep going? And start declaring, I am not stopping. This shift changes everything. When quitting is removed from the table, your mind searches for solutions instead of exits. Your energy goes toward progress instead of escape. Life will try to wear you down slowly. Not all defeats come from one big blow. Most come from 1,000 small moments of giving in, skipping today, postponing tomorrow, lowering standards, settling quietly. The person who never quits wins by refusing these small surrenders. They win by staying disciplined in the ordinary moments. You must decide in advance who you are going to be when things get hard, because in the middle of pain, you will not rise to the level of your motivation. You will fall to the level of your identity. If your identity says, I finish what I start, then quitting will feel foreign to you. One day, you will look back at the version of yourself that almost gave up, and you will feel gratitude, not for the pain, but for the perseverance. You will realize that every difficult season was shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You will realize that staying in the fight changed you more than winning ever could. The world is full of people who started strong and stopped early. Very few are willing to endure. Very few are willing to stay when it gets uncomfortable. Very few are willing to keep going without guarantees. That is why those who never quit stand out, not because they are gifted, but because they are committed. This is your moment to decide. Not tomorrow, not when it feels easier, not when circumstances improve. Decide now. Decide that no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many times you fall, you will get back up. You will adapt. You will learn. You will grow. But you will not quit. Because the battle that chose you was never meant to defeat you. It was meant to define you. And the person you become by refusing to quit will be stronger than any obstacle you ever face.